It's Tori with your hometown station weather. Rain on and off through today, a high of only 61 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 46. Some sun tomorrow with a high of 61. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com or find us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KHTS Radio.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome to Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. We are here live at the KHTS studio in beautiful, rainy and thundering downtown Santa Clarita. And with me today is the amazing Reverend Ron Blair, who is someone that I definitely look up to. I mean, he is a teacher of mine. He is a reverend from the Santa Clarita Spiritual Center. Yeah. And I go there sometimes, and he always has such an amazing message to share. And it's always so deep. It's the kind of message that hits you right in the bones, you know. And so I am honored, Ron, to have you here today on the show to really discuss trust, because that is such a deep topic. And so many of the clients that I have, the people that I work with, you know, trust is this thing that comes up in relationship over and over. And it is the thing that so many relationships feel like has to be inside of the relationship in order for it to thrive. And it can get broken so easily, you know, by things like the biggest being infidelity, but even just criticism and trusting that your partner is going to have your back, or trusting that your partner will be able to see the good in you and accept all of you. Or even just, you know, down to the little everyday things like, hey, can you watch the kids? And then following through with what you say you're going to do, you know? And so all of these things come up in relationships so much. And when that trust gets broken, it really tends to hurt the relationship. It brings things to a standstill, and it can be very detrimental, you know, depending on how a person works through it. And if it is as big as, you know, sometimes what people consider the ultimate betrayal being infidelity, then it can be something that is very hard to get over and move forward with, you know. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. Number one, how to cultivate trust, even if there's been infidelity, and to do it in a way that is much more grounded. You know, that's the message that I want us to bring to the table here today.
That's a big question. First of all, thank you, Jessica, for having me here, and I'm honored to be here. Trust is something that I have found to be a quality of this creation that one could truly only experience. One could not know what trust is, because that's where I get betrayed, because what I think is trust, and then something else shows up, and then I'm hurt. But what I'm realizing is that trust gives me the opportunity to evolve. See, but first of all, I have to remember now that I must trust that will be the same yesterday, today, and forever. People, places, and things will change. That's their purpose, to evolve, which brings about changes. And for me now, my trust in a creator that has me being where I am reveals that everything that is taking place for my good, meaning it's going to give me an opportunity to grow, evolve, to be more than I've ever known myself to be. Now, what I realized is that no one knows what that's supposed to look like, how it's supposed to happen. One has to truly be grounded in what they believe as their source and supply and protector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, one of the things that I often bring to the table with my clients is that trust, the conventional idea of trust is really just fear in disguise.
True.
It's like what most people feel like trust is. Well, let's just backpedal a little bit. Let's just answer that for a moment. What is trust? What is it in the conventional sense? And maybe what is it really? What is it behind that? What do you think it is conventionally?
Well, conventionally, it's a idea, concept, thought, or belief, you see. And so that can be a myriad of things. People have their own beliefs in what they're trusting in. So to me, it's like it's something that really cannot be known but only experienced. And when that is allowed, then one gets to experience trust, and trust then reveals what it is. Mm-hmm. You see?
Right, but see, you're talking a little bit deeper now. See, you're taking it to the level of like what trust really is.
Okay.
And I just want to say, let's just call it out for the lamb in sheep's or the wolf in sheep's clothing that it is. You know, like most of us conventionally feel like trust is this sort of guarantee that we have within the relationship. If I have trust in the relationship, then I believe that my partner is going to be committed, faithful, loyal, that they're going to follow through, that they're going to have my best interests in mind. This is the idea of trust that we're buying into, that we've all bought into conventionally, generally speaking.
Yes.
And what I want to bring up about that is that it is so, like, if you really take an awareness and you look at it, you will see that all of it is based outside of yourself.
Absolutely.
And so therefore we have no control over it. And so as you were saying, it's something that, we're putting outside of ourselves, and we're not experiencing it inside of ourselves.
Right.
Instead, it's outside. And so therefore, now because it's outside of us, we start to put in all of these sort of control and manipulation techniques, behaviors, in order to make sure that trust doesn't get broken. Because we need to make sure that it doesn't get broken. Because if it does get broken, then I am not good enough. My partner doesn't respect me, then I am unhappy, then I am flawed, then our relationship is flawed, then this is a failure, all of these things. And so it's like we're putting so much weight in something that is not in our control.
I'm glad you brought all that up, because I've somehow put all that behind me now.
Yes, sometimes it's hard to go back in
Yes.
and see it from that other perspective,
Yes.
When you've been living over here for so long.
Yes, and seeing what I've come to realize in that experience of what you just shared is that I get to ask all those things that I'm believing to be true. That question, is it true? See, is it true that my life is now ruined because am I not fulfilling what I'm here to fulfill as a parent, as a wife, is those things true? And a lot of it is not.
Absolutely.
See,
yes.
It's not true. So therefore, when I first eliminate that, now I'm kind of creating a space for the truth. Mm-hmm. You see, now I'm eliminating the stuff that is not true, and I'm making myself available to what is the truth. You see, and what I've come to realize is that when I'm trusting in people, places, and things to be a certain way, I'm setting myself up. You see, I have to look at my own experience where I wasn't able to trust myself. You see, and if I'm not able to trust myself, well, when somebody else I'm putting that trust into doesn't live up to it, then all I'm really experiencing is another expression of what I'm doing to myself.
Oh, absolutely. And see, you're hitting on something that I think is so important to discuss when we talk about, okay, well, what is trust really? Mm-hmm. And how can it function in a relationship? How does it exist in a healthy, thriving relationship? What does it look like? Because the way that we've been doing trust, generally speaking, destroys our relationships, and it creates codependency in our relationships, just like our happiness.
Right.
You know, for example, you know, it's when you come to realize that your partner is not responsible, they're not here to make you happy. You know, your partner is actually here to make themselves happy, to grow, to share this union of belonging and adventure and love and growth and create together. However, in that, you know, the relationships can so easily get embedded into this codependent model of love. You know, a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have been conditioned that way, not only by watching our parents do it, but everywhere we look. I mean, if you look at most of romantic movies are this way. You know, if you look at just media, ads, commercials, everything. And the more that we bombard our subconscious with the same message, the more we subconsciously will believe it. You know, and so then we get into relationship, and we didn't have the intention to become codependent. We never did. But we go into it, and then we end up playing out those things subconsciously because, you know, and that's where the things get a little bit tricky, because that's when the honeymoon gets over. You know, it's like at first you're very much allowing that person to be their own independent self, and then you're being your own independent self, and you're coming together and you're sharing love and creating, and you're having a great time together. And then once you get into the thick of the relationship, then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, here's what I want, and now I resent this thing that you're doing because now I need you to do this in order for me to be happy. You know, and so we get tangled into that.
Well, that all comes up when I'm really trying to live out my idea of relationship, of marriage, of love. And what is revealed to me now is that these ideas change with evolution. So therefore, I'm now being aware more of where am I coming from when I'm saying yes to these relationships. You see, am I coming from a whole self, or am I coming from a sense of separation?
Yep.
You see, and when I realize that, that is the worst place to make a decision to join in with another from. You see, because there's where the codependency now starts to build.
Right.
You know,
But to speak for most people, it's like when we are growing up and we're dependent, we need our parents for shelter and food. And then we have these early experiences where we get wounded, you know, and so then we have these holes and we don't know how to fill them. And so then we come into a relationship and we're thinking back of our mind that our partner will fill those holes for us. They will finally be the one that will love us no matter what.
right. And see, and I get to ask the client or the person, how's that working? You know, because see, that doesn't work. What I'm realizing is that everything that I'm asking of a partner, I'm really asking of myself. And when I give it to myself, now I have something to share with a partner. You see, relationships are things to share, not to be getting something from. Relationships are something that I realize that come together not for maybe the sake of the personality, but for the sake of evolution of life, the species. You see, because each species, each person is going to have an opportunity to evolve through their connection with that already knows what's going on. You see, but if I'm relying on my finite mind that doesn't know enough, then there's where all the hurt, all the pain, all the confusion and frustration comes through, because I'm figuring something out with not enough information. You see, so now what I get is an opportunity to begin realizing, what am I trusting in? You see, when I realize that my trust in something that won't change, it's the same yesterday, today, and forever, then that means anything that I'm going through is my opportunity to evolve. You see, now when I see it from that perspective, there's nothing ever wrong. And how can anything be wrong when everything is orchestrated from love or from a creator of love? See, again, I have to come back to what is my belief, because universal principles and laws says it's done unto me as I believe. So what do I believe? Do I believe I'm alone here, trying to figure this out, trying to work myself through this life? Or is there a purpose of me being here? And is that purpose being prepared through my experience, all of my experiences. See, that means none of my experiences was a mistake.
Right.
See, all the seemingly hurt ones, they have valuable information now for this expansion and extension and evolution of this life, of this species. See, if we can get more out of this conversation about what it is to be instead of not to be, we're making ourselves available to something more instead of trying to protect ourselves from something.
Yes. And those are very, very deep and wise thoughts. And sometimes we've got to sort of ruminate on that a bit, and really get to understand, okay, what does that mean?
Right.
For me
Right.
and for me in this situation, so how do I apply that to the offense that I feel that I'm protecting myself from right now?
Well, the first thing I'm going to take a look at, what is it that I'm saying I need to protect myself from? Because if everything is in a divine order, then that's not true. So let me take a look at what am I saying to myself, you see? And if I'm making up something that's not real, then let me dismiss that. Now let me acknowledge this energy I'm feeling, this feeling, this whatever it is. Let me acknowledge this and ask the question to that already knows what this is. And this helps me build patience. This helps me build trust, that there are no mistakes, that whatever that person did, there's some information in it. Let me not react to it.
That's big.
Yeah, let me not react to it, but let me take it within myself for an answer. You see, that becomes the practice. When I realize and accept that there's nothing ever wrong, then anything and everything taking place with me has valuable information.
Yes, I love that. I love how you said, let me look in and see what kind of information that this has for me.
Yes.
So if I can look at it objectively,
Yes,
rather than emotionally reacting to it, and separate whatever I thought that it meant.
right.
And one of the things that is important for me when I'm working with my clients is to teach them that, whatever comes out of your partner, their actions, their behaviors, their words, that's a reflection of them. It is not a reflection. It has very little to do with you. And so we can sort of separate that as being tied to myself in the relationship. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean that they're a horrible person. It just means that they made a mistake, or maybe they're out of their own integrity, or they've got their own wounds and they're doing the best that they can, and all these kinds of things. And I want to go a little bit deeper into this, but we're going to have to take a quick break.
Okay.
And so right after the break, we'll come back and we'll really take a little bit of a deeper dive into what does trust look like in a healthy, thriving relationship.
Nice.
And when it's in this place, and when it's in this place of inner trust, and let's dissect that a little bit, okay?
Okay.
This is Thriving in Relationships, and we'll be right back.
It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies and pets and even adults. EcoGreen Clean SEV can put your worries at ease. EcoGreen Clean SEV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. EcoGreen cleaners use essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. You even get an organic chocolate on your pillow. Local owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago. For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
Beautiful skincare with safer ingredients is now available in Santa Clarita. This is Dr. Palucki.
And Tony Palucki. I've loved makeup since I was 12, but recently my hormones became a hot mess, and I found out that makeup and fragrance can cause that. So now we welcome you to experience Beauty Counter, a healthy skincare and cosmetic choice delivered directly to your door. Call 753-9340 for more details.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth.
No more training wheels.
My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
When you feel like you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on, because a quality relationship will bring the most meaning to your life. No matter how hard it feels right now, this is your opportunity to grow every part of who you are and bring the best of what you've got to the table. No one wants to spend their life alone. Make this one count. It takes effort and dedication, but you're capable. Visit jessicahartley.com/program.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com.
Chiquita Canyon Landfill takes the waste from our homes and local businesses and puts it to good use. With cutting-edge clean energy technology, Chiquita Canyon powers 10,000 homes each year by harnessing the methane gas from the landfill. So, the next time you wheel your trash can to the curb, feel good that your waste is on its way to making green energy at Chiquita Canyon.
Chiquita Canyon Landfill, our partner in sustainable living.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back to Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. I am your host, Jessica Hartley, relationship coach and founder of the Legendary Love Program. And today I have Reverend Ron Blair here with me, and we have been discussing some amazing things about trust and how to cultivate it and what it is and how to shift the perceptions that we have around it, which are creating a destructive environment in our relationships and our world, and so what we were discussing before the break was how trust is really a wolf in sheep's clothing in the way that we have conventionally been looking at it, and that it is not so much about the guarantee that I have in my partner, but more about an inner experience.
Yes.
It's not about what can I make sure or control or, have faith in my partner to do, because that is outside of our control. It's outside of our domain, and it puts our relationship into a codependent state, which is not healthy. And then if we don't use trust in that way, then how does trust exist? Where does it exist? And what does it look and feel like?
Well, one of the things that I'm experiencing now is that trust being a quality of this creation is something that I can't know, yet I can experience to its fullness. And what I've realized is that in my accepting that, I am experiencing a peace beyond human understanding, because my trust is letting me experience confidence in what I believe in, When I'm confident in what I believe in, it becomes easier to let things happen the way they're happening, knowing that they're happening for my good. Trust is that knowing that whatever my perception may be, there's something greater taking place. And if my perception is not allowing me to be at peace, then it's asking me to make myself available to the something greater. You see. Now, that takes practice, because then I have to put the mind, the finite mind that wants to bring up all the experiences of
our past, of our conditioning,
of our wounds, of all of that. It wants to bring up all of that to tell me, no, you can't trust. But when I realize that trust is a quality that's within me that is waiting to be activated, then it's calling for my willingness. And only my willingness, that's all it needs.
I like that. Calling for my willingness to be available.
To be available, to trust. See, to experience trust.
So then if we're experiencing trust, the way that I experience trust is that it can happen in two ways. One is that feeling, my inner intuitive feeling, my intuition. So here, this is in my domain. I could feel into it, right? I can feel, does this feel like a good path? Does it feel right? Does it feel honoring? Or does it feel like it's not? This is something that I think is a skill that we all have access to, and just needs to be developed more and more. And it's dormant in most people because we logically rely on facts that we see, or past transgressions or past experiences, as what will prove. But it's like there's something more than that, and intuition can offer us that. And intuition, I feel, picks up on the subliminal stuff better than our mind can.
Yes,
And then the second way is that trust is experienced between myself and my higher power, or God, or the universe, or whatever we want to call it. This is what I'm trusting in.
Yes. And
like you said, it's like if you believe that it was created in with love, put it in your words, please.
Well, when I realize and accept that the Creator I believe in is love, in all the qualities of love, peace, harmony, joy, abundance, prosperity, all of these qualities are waiting to be activated, to be experienced in life. See, I come from the place that there's only one life, and it's the life of the Creator, and all of His creations get to experience it. In this human creation, we get to experience it in our own way, you see. Now, it serves me now to be aware of who it is that I'm saying that I am, because that's going to determine where I'm going to come from. When I know that my connection with the Creator is one, there is no separation in it, then there's a realization of responsibility. There are now opportunities for me to stand up to say yes to. And to know that because of who and whose I am, I cannot be hurt, harmed, or endangered in any way, shape, or form. Yet, I'm not going to say that these things doesn't happen in the human experience. But what I've come to realize is that because of who I am, these experiences have valuable information that allows for this species to evolve, to where some things that may have taken place in the past won't take place anymore because we've evolved from that, you see. And that's what I'm seeing that is being asked of me, and to really experience these qualities, because one of the greatest qualities is unconditional love. Now, unconditional love tells me then I'm to let everyone be where they need to be, because this has nothing to do with me.
You mentioned something that I feel is very hard for many to wrap their heads around, is sort of trusting that I'm not going to be hurt, harmed, or endangered. Yes.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
You see? So therefore, when I'm experiencing these things,
because those things exist
in this human experience, when I'm experiencing these things, then I have to see it from the perspective that this is information for me, and not that somebody has done something to me. It's not that I'm going to move into victimhood. I'm going to move into divinity and look for the opportunity. See, I'm not ignoring these feelings that are moving up in me. However, I know that these feelings are just an electrical impulse that are moving through, saying something's happening, and it's for me to now be still enough to find out or ask what's happening.
And so right now I hear my husband's voice coming in, and I know that he would say, well, then do you wear a seatbelt when you're in the car? Do you lock your doors at night? These are behaviors of protection.
And what I've come to realize is that there are times when I don't, you see, and the only thing that has me buckling up is a law, you see, because you can be fined for not having your seatbelt on.
But you can't trust what someone else is going to do if their, their car is, out of control.
But I can trust that my life or my experience is in such an alignment that nothing's going to happen that's not supposed to.
And that's where it is.
That's where it is. See, nothing's out of order. You see, and so even if that happens, it's going to catapult me into another state of consciousness to get through it. You see, and so hurt, harm, all of those are the experiences that have powerful information because they're emotionally, connected. And that's where I know when I'm feeling that, this is deep. You see, it's not just intellectual. You see, and most people are living from their intellectual perspectives of what life is. You see, and that, is the misalignment. I've read something that brought me into this awareness that there's 3 minds inside the human body: the intellectual mind, the heart mind, and the soul mind. You see, and it's only when they all come into alignment with each other that one gets to experience the fullness of this life. You see, and when I realized the intellectual mind is a mind that goes out and gathers information, see, and then the soul mind already knows it has a purpose of being here, but the heart mind holds all that information. See, can I say to my mind, I'm really connected with my heart and I don't make a decision, unless I'm connected and engaged with my heart? Can I say that? Or do I realize that all of my decisions are made from the intellectual perspective that really doesn't know enough for me?
I've heard also that we are emotional creatures, even though we explain that our decisions that are really more emotional by logic. And we think that we're more logical, but really we're emotional, but in the negative sense of the emotion, not in the empowered sense of emotion. More of like, oh, I'm making this decision because I don't want to be rejected, or because I have fear around this, or because it triggers an emotional wound that I have, And so, and then we explain it by logic. Oh, yeah, well, that person has done this before, so I don't trust them, And so we end up, even disguising what's really going on, because if we're really clear and aware of what's going on, is that when we're feeling these negative things that we need to protect ourselves from, that we're just being triggered by some of our emotional wounds that are telling us, protect, because I want to be seen for who I am. I want to be loved because I want to be whole and complete, and it's like we're giving all of that away, and through our relationships and everything else, rather than just taking ownership for that and saying, you know what, this is my domain to fulfill those things in me. It's not my partner's job to give me any of that. Although it is awesome when their cup is full and they are sharing their love with me, but they're not responsible to give me that. And that's something that I just had a client recently that was just telling me how it was so one of the hardest things about their relationship was that it felt so needy, like they were so responsible for how their partner felt all the time, that they were always wrong because they were always, doing whatever behaviors or intentions, and then the partner took it personally all the time, and so that's where we have to really separate that and say, like, well, number one, on this side, I am not responsible for what my partner feels, and then on that side, that my partner is not responsible for how I feel, but rather I am. And I think that if we were going to really say, okay, trust is not outside of me, trust is inside of me. It's this experience that I create, and it's experience that is between myself and my intuition, myself and my path, and radically trusting. I mean, that's radical, what we just talked about here, just say that absolutely trusting that everything is in divine order.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
see, what I'm finding is that when I accept that, then my hurt and all those feelings are really bringing me some information on how I'm perceiving things.
Right. And so now we have this opportunity to grow.
Right. That means sometimes change the perception. See, what if I had a different perception about this same thing? Would I feel differently? See, and that's what I'm starting to see as the opportunity to grow. You see, not to get stuck in the emotions, not allowing them to dictate my decisions or what I'm to do, but really gather them up and to really hear what they're saying. And they're really probably saying that this is an unresolved issue.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so thank you for creating the space that where this now could be brought back to light. And if it's brought back to light, you have been prepared to be with it. Mm-hmm. Now be with it, but be with it from a different perspective.
Right, so that you grow.
So that the growth can take place.
Because if you don't, then you're just going to repeat the same thing over
Absolutely.
and over again.
And wondering why.
Yeah. Why does this always happen to
right,
me?
Right. And see, and the question always, why not? Because most people don't know the law that they're living up under. And those are the universal laws of the universe. Mm-hmm. See, it's done unto me as I believe. I get back what I put out.
Yes.
You know?
And that's the other thing that I wanted to bring up here actually around trust is that our relationship, this outer world that we're experiencing, you know, whatever happens in it, whether there's criticism, distrust, disloyalty, whatever it is a reflection of our inner world.
At times.
And this is something that we have to accept. And it's hard because it looks like my partner is being unthoughtful, inconsiderate, jerk, you know, all these things. And what's really going on is that they're a reflection holding up a mirror of what my inner world is. What is my inner world? My thoughts, whether they're positive or negative. You know, it's always going to be a reflection of that. It's going to be around, if they're negative, it's about my fears, my insecurities, my weaknesses, and they're going to show up in my relationship. And when it feels bad, when it shows up and it feels bad, that's how I know here's my opportunity to grow.
Absolutely. And the key now, I'm starting to see that when any energy, see, I've gotten the opportunity now to not label the energy, negative or positive. It's just energy, you see. And then I have to remember what I am. And remembering that I'm a transforming agent of energy, it's like bring the energy on. Because if it's here, then there's my opportunity to transform it in what it's seeking to be, you see. From that place, it's like there's nothing wrong. There's nothing negative or positive. Everything is exactly the way it is in order for something to evolve. You see, sometimes it takes seemingly negative energy for something to evolve into is positive. You see, so therefore I cannot say that seemingly negative is bad and positive is good, because I've seen that where those that have thought themselves to be positive really are causing something negative on the other end. Life has two polarities, you see, positive and a negative. And when I'm accepting that, then I get to realize, where am I in it? See, am I being in this vibration that is not expanding, extending, and evolving? Or do I find myself over here in this evolution of life that is revealing things are changing? And things are changing fast. You see, so therefore it gives me my opportunity to get deeply rooted in a truth that sets me free. See, and there's only one truth that I'm realizing now, and that the Creator is all that there is. And if that Creator is love, then love is all that there is. And if I'm not seeing love, then let me take a look at myself and see where I'm putting things in the way that keeps me from seeing it. You see, then I'll get to share it. Then I'll get to witness it. I'll get to experience it, you see, unconditionally. See, to me, that's the ultimate experience in relationships, you see.
I totally agree. You know, it's like there's this thing that we can't experience this kind of transformation and growth, this radical growth, you know, when we don't when we don't have the conflict to bounce it off of us, you know? And so it's through that conflict, through that challenge that our partner will bring up in the relationship that we have an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely.
You know, and the relationship can be such a beautiful shared experience, but it's so interesting to realize that deeper than this shared experience is this incredible opportunity for my personal growth.
Absolutely. See, beyond the relationship, what's really taking place, life is evolving. See, and we're not separate from
And the
life.
Relationship is the vessel.
Yes. See, for that
It's
evolution.
the boat you're riding on.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely.
Buckle up.
That buckle up. Real good.
Buckle up because, wait, what did we say about buckling up?
No, buckling up is a law. You know,
Wait,
but
you don't have to buckle up. Never mind. Just don't.
Be safe.
Yeah.
See, be safe.
Just trust that it's all in divine order.
Yeah, trust that. And you'll know that whatever's taking place is taking place for your good.
Beautiful. So we're going to take another break.
Okay.
And when we get back, what I would like to do is just really say, okay, here's what we're going to do is trust now moving forward. So if we're going to change the game, here's what we'll do with this new perspective of what trust is.
Beautiful.
All right. So we'll be right back after the break.
Daily Imprints is the premier one-stop shop for custom embroidery, screen printing, and promotional products in the Santa Clarita Valley. Owners Joe and Dana have provided KHTS with quality embroidered company shirts for over 3 years. If it's new business cards or promotional products you need to enhance your image, Daily Imprints is the choice for you. Located on Lyons Avenue, stop by or call today, 661-678-0508.
There are many memorable restaurants in Santa Clarita, but 3 words stand out from the crowd. Mom can cook.
Mamá puede cocinar.
Mom can cook the best Thai food on this side of the planet.
Mama fait la cuisine.
No matter what language you use, Mom Can Cook says it all. Thai food at its finest, all your favorite dishes, and Mom's very own original specialties. Experience it on Soledad by the Canyon Country Post Office.
Mama料理が上手ですよ.
Mom Can Cook.
It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies and pets and even adults. EcoGreen Clean SEV can put your worries at ease. EcoGreen Clean SEV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. EcoGreen cleaners use essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. You even get an organic chocolate on your pillow. Local owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago. For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what is best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114. Or go to resurgenceit.com.
Hometown. Your hometown station.
Welcome back to Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. I have Reverend Ron Blair here with me, and we've been having such an amazing discussion about trust, what it looks like, the facade and the truth about trust, as well as how to cultivate it. And that's what I really want to get into in this last bit. But before I do that, let's just talk a little bit. Tell me a little bit where people can find you if they want to dive into what you're offering. I know that at the Santa Clarita Center for Spiritual Living, you are doing a book club. And you're also doing a Course in Miracles study group, which is amazing. I was first introduced to Course in Miracles through Marianne Williamson.
Yes.
Who is another really amazing woman. So many amazing quotes come out of her. So tell us, so where can people find you?
Well, you can go to Facebook and find me on Facebook. You can come to Santa Clarita Spiritual Center and catch me during the week on Tuesdays from 2 to 4 with a Course in Miracle group. I'm speaking there at least twice a month. I'm honored with 3 times this month. And also there's a book club that we're establishing. I have one, Reverend Ellen has another book club. But what we're doing at Santa Clarita is really establishing a spiritual foundation to where people could live from, freely, without the fears that, the world seems to be, bombarding us with today. What we're doing there is just growing in truth and allowing that, to reveal how we're going to show up now in the community.
Yeah, and can you share also how the Santa Clarita Center for Spiritual Living is different from other religious organizations?
Well, it was based in the Science of Mind teachings by Ernest Holmes. And Ernest, what I loved about his teaching, also revealed that this teaching is open at the top, you see, which then let me know or gave me a vibration. This is evolutionary. See, it's not just one particular practice or religion that has to be done this way. You see, it also includes all other teachings, throughout the world. So it's inclusive in what it's teaching.
It's Unitarian.
It's Unitarian.
So,
right.
Bring in, the Bible, everything.
All of that. Yeah. All that has valuable information. We utilize, Jesus as a powerful master teacher. You see, and therefore, really catching what he was talking about and living from what he was talking about and not putting him on a pedestal really gives this species a greater expression of this life. So at Santa Clarita, we wanted to share that truth, really giving, the congregant back to themselves.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah,
yes. And I also love going there. It's definitely, it's very grounding for me, open. There's a sense of, just acceptance,
Yes.
Love in its greatest form.
Yes.
And not about like it has to be done this way and, other things. But anyway, let's go back into to trust. So here's what is important. So if we're going to say, okay, I'm going to start cultivating trust as an inner game inside of me, inside of my relationship. So as an inner game, it's about developing my intuition and also really radically trusting God, the universe, as being created from a source of love and everything is in divine order, right?
Well, first, I've realized that I had to establish a belief in a power greater than myself, one I could trust. See, that means one that I know won't ever let me down, one that I know won't ever abandon me. I have to establish a trust in that I believe in. And then it came down to, what do I say about me? Who am I? You see, so I really had to know that truth about myself. Then what trust then begins to reveal is that everything that is taking place for the good of not only one, but for all. Now, that's beyond human imagination because I can't know for all. I can only know for myself.
Yeah. This or something greater for the highest good of all concerned.
For all.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So now what it's giving me is that opportunity. Now, do I trust that I believe to be the creator, the higher power? And do I trust that it has everything in an order that has everyone's best interest? See, do I trust that? I'm always going back. What am I trusting?
Beautiful.
You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I really want to highlight and bring in is that because our relationship is a reflection of our inner world, to take more ownership for that. So with trust, if it's inside of me and in my intuition and what I'm believing and bringing to the table, and then I could take more ownership for my inner world. If I want to create an experience in my relationship, then I have absolute domain to work within. Where are my fears? Where are my weaknesses? What are my insecurities? And to really work those out. And if I'm noticing that I have an insecurity, and you can notice that because it doesn't feel good, it feels, like contracting and it doesn't feel good, then I can have that opportunity to grow.
Yes, and I get to go and really start asking the question, what is not allowing me to feel good? You see? And really make myself available to that, because then that will kind of have insight to maybe another belief that all of this is connected to. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't serve me to stop at what I'm feeling, but really go deeper into what is it that I'm saying I'm feeling.
The belief, the meaning. Yes, and that's where your growth is. And the other thing that I want to mention too is that now we have an opportunity to contribute into the relationship. So how do I want to contribute into the relationship, and what will I cultivate from that contribution? It's not just what my partner does or doesn't do, but also what can I contribute that will allow something to be more of what I want it to be and feel like. Well, and hold on, before we go there, just because we're almost out of time today, the last thing that I want to also mention too is that it's important to be decisive and to just say, all right, I'm going to go all in because I trust that this is in divine order, or that I trust that in that it feels good. And intuitively, I'm trusting this. It feels good. I'm feeling confident about it. And I trust that everything is as it should be and it is made from love. And so therefore I'm okay. And so then just to go in all in. And then when you do that, then you have this energy that is full of abundance and resources and power, and because you're giving your heart and you're coming from a genuine place and creating something that is more powerful and true from that place. So what did you want to say real quick?
I forgot.
Okay. All right. So, the last thing that I wanted to mention before we go is that I'm holding the Sacred Feminine Workshop, and that is going to be at the end of the month. Beautiful. So find out about that, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for coming on the air.
7th Annual Sierra Pelona Valley AVA Wine Festival, Saturday, April 6th from noon to 4 p.m., benefiting the Zonta Club of SCV. Get your Chardonnay on with live music, gourmet food, handmade crafts, and the best local wines, beers, spirits, and ciders Santa Clarita has to offer at Reyes Winery. Dionysus dilettantes and wine connoisseurs alike will